AITA for getting upset when my drunk friends didn't save me food. My friends and I decided to rent an Airbnb last week in the Hamptons to escape NYC and quarantine together. We talked about it beforehand, and the agreement in the group was that we all actually needed to work while quote unquote working from home. I agreed and mentioned that my work had been picking up recently given everything going on. Fast forward to 3 days into the week-long rental, and I already had enough of my friends. Throughout the week, they became more and more inconsiderate and treated the trip like an adult spring break. On day 3, they were shouting shots, shots, shots at 4 p.m. while I was on the phone with my boss. I normally work 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's so early to wake up. Despite being a few years younger than everyone else on the trip, I somehow became the quote mom friend of the group. Before we left, I packed a few extra rolls of TP and an extra roll of paper towels in case we ran out during the week. Adding to mom friend status, I was the only one who washed a dish the entire week. After every meal, I washed the dishes so they wouldn't sit in the sink. And every morning before I logged into work, I washed dishes that were left in the sink overnight without even so much as rinsing them off. I was torn about continuing to clean up for everyone as the week went on because I didn't really want to be everyone's dish maid, but I also didn't want to live in filth. Every time I asked people to clean up after themselves, I got, yeah, I'll do that later. Fast forward to Saturday, and we're using my TP and paper towels because we ran out. People had been drinking all day, me included, and a girl decided around noon to put in a load of laundry. She moved the load from the washer to the dryer, then put more laundry in the washer, including my towels. At 7 p.m., I asked, hey guys, did you remember to switch the laundry out of the washer to the dryer? They hadn't. It sat in the washing machine for 7 hours. I mentioned that it wasn't a big deal. I'd go switch it out and be back upstairs to eat the dinner that was being made at that point. I folded the laundry from the dryer and switched out the second load. I decided to be nice and put the folded laundry on everyone's beds for them. As I walked to put the laundry away, I heard someone from the kitchen ask where I was. I went back to the kitchen to eat within 10 minutes of leaving to take care of the laundry, and there was no food left. My friends and I had been drinking for 12 hours at this point, and they ate everything without realizing I wasn't there. I was fuming because even after they were super inconsiderate during the work week, I had still cleaned up after them every day, and they couldn't even leave me any food for dinner. To avoid yelling at my friends, I took a deep breath, found food to put in the oven, poured myself a huge glass of wine, and went outside to calm down. When I came back inside, once my food was ready, one of my friends could tell I was upset. He asked why, and I told him that was because I had just folded everyone's laundry, and they couldn't even leave dinner for me. His response was, are you seriously upset right now? Everyone's drunk. Like that was some sort of excuse for being an asshole. I completely lost it at this point and yelled that I'd never been around such inconsiderate, selfish people in my life, and they should apologize to me considering I was the only reason people could even wipe their asses at that point. Since then, everyone's been upset and they want me to apologize. They still haven't apologized to me for their behavior, so I refused. AITA.
Woo! I'm annoyed. I'm so angry.
I mean, this is, I don't like anyone right off the bat. I feel bad saying that.
Same. I mean, well, the easiest reason we dislike them off the bat is because they did what you're exactly not supposed to do, and they quarantined, in air quotes, for a week in the Hamptons of all places to escape New York for a week. So they're already like being assholes, and not treating this like a vacation, or they're treating it like a vacation. Sorry, when it's supposed to be a quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, in their slight defense, this was submitted, I think, like a month-ish ago, so it wasn't like maybe crazy bad, but you're right. That's already
it was before we really had all the facts, but also
they knew what they were doing. Yeah,
right. So like, now it's kind of like we can say that this was not a good move.
Yeah. So I don't want to come at them too hard for that. I mean, I'll say the first thing that I do like OP. I see a lot of my girlfriend in OP, very type A. You know, I normally work 7:30 to 7. Clearly, this person is high status. They have some kind of important job. And they seem like they're nice, but I think you know what I'm going to say, Sarah. I see a lot of internalized
unassertiveness. I wanted to say it together.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's what you wanted. Take 2, ready? Internalized unassertiveness. With Zoom, you can feel like you're in the real world. Zoom video conferencing. Also, be Zoom bombed and hear the N-word 4,000 times in a row. That's what happened to me. No, so now I like OP. I understand OP's vibes. And it does immediately make me think her friends are assholes because they just blatantly disrespected her work schedule. Look, if you want to drink at 4, drink at 4, baby. But let OP do what she needs to do or he needs to do. Don't,
Yeah.
mess with their job.
Yeah, you
That's
can't be yelling shots at 4 p.m. when someone's on a conference call with their boss.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And an adult spring break, I mean, that's not the vibe I want,
Well,
we're
that's also not the point of this. Again,
exactly.
like
Exactly.
go to the Hamptons, don't like get out of town or don't get out of town. Because I'll give them like a pass, sort of, because at this point we really didn't know. Like at the time they had sent the email. However, I think anyone should know that like if you're trying to do a responsible thing for public health, like going on a spring break is probably not that.
Of course, of course. And they probably had a thought that was like, well, but this will be really fun. They knew.
Yeah,
Now, let's move on to the next detail here, which is that OP packed these extra rolls of TP and extra rolls of paper towels. Now, I think this is
mistake.
okay.
Classic. Oh, no. I don't think that was a mistake to pack it. I think it was a classic mistake to share.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It was a mistake to share. I mean, I also see what this mom friend thing is, and here's the thing. It's not nice to call someone the mom friend and say stuff like that because ultimately what OP did was wise. It was the right move. You don't want to be caught in a bind with no toilet paper or paper towels.
Right.
It was wise. It was cool. But the problem is, and you said one way around that would be to not share. That's fine. But I think, look, naturally, you're sharing a house with people. You're going to share your shit with them. So I just think the problem here emerges because this is a classic IA behavior, IU behavior, internalized unassertiveness, where you're sort of giving more to people. And the problem is that you want it back. And when you want it back, you're fucked because not everyone thinks like you or operates in this way. Like some people just aren't super gifty. This is kind of a form
Or
of gift.
yeah, one of my friends runs into this issue all the time because she's the most like thoughtful person ever in the entire, like she's basically Leslie Knope. And like if she will think of a way to help you, I think, before you even know that you need help.
Mm,
But then the problem, and that's like an amazing way to be, the problem can arise if you also um kind of expect or hope that other people will act the same way in return, because the reality is that most people are just completely thoughtless, and not even in a malicious way. They're just self-centered capacity.
right. Right. I mean, to dial it in a bit, I think obviously self-centeredness is part of it. I think also it's just type A puts you in a very planning mentality. Like you just said, she seems to know problems before you even know you have them. That's very type A, right? They're very analytical, forward looking. Whereas like me, I have recognized that I need to be type A, I need to be organized, I need to plan. But my natural state is like I live in the next 3 seconds in front of me. I'm a
Yeah,
goldfish.
I'm not, and when I say thoughtless, I don't necessarily mean it with like a character judgment in there. Like I just mean that like you're straight up just not thinking like
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So I
That's a
think
good
that's like part of it too.
right. No, and I think thoughtless is a good word. And I actually like that you kind of spelled out what you meant because people do kind of mean it to mean something it does. Like it kind of comes off like people are saying like mean spirited or rude, but thoughtless means something very specific, which is just like you didn't think more, you didn't analyze
Yes.
harder, which is again a type A person shoving their A down everyone's throat. And that is
Right.
a common frustration point for these types of
Totally.
people. Now, I think you're spot on here. So now we get to the laundry incident. So the
Mm,
laundry, well, and we have cleaning the whole time, right? She keeps going
mm.
on and on about these wash
First of all,
dishes.
why did you rent a house with no dishwasher?
Madness.
Mistakes.
Well, maybe she means, did she mean she washed them manually? She said she washed them so they wouldn't
That's,
sit in the sink. So she could have ran
I
them through the
mean,
dishwasher.
that's true. I guess I just feel like I wouldn't be so salty about loading something into a dishwasher. It's not that much work. Like if I
Well, hold
had to
on.
hand wash a million dishes, I'd be way more annoyed.
Well, yeah, oh my God. But would you automatically do this? Because I'm like, this is your thing, Abigail. You're the one who wants everything to be so super clean. So that's no one owes that to you. This isn't like the toilet paper thing. Nobody gives a shit.
Right. The problem is that if you like are picking up these people's slack, they're not going to do it themselves. And it's always, even if you have roommates, there's always just this like a game of chicken basically, where it's like, are
Right.
you going to clean up your shit, or are we going to have a stalemate
Right.
until I do it or one of us cracks?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just say big IU on that case, because if she had asked them at some point, like, hey guys, I just feel super uncomfortable. Could we all just like wash off our dishes real quick after?
Right.
When they're sober all the other nights of the week, I feel like they would have done something. I don't think
Well,
these people are
apparently they were
monsters.
like, yeah, I'll do it later. But then it's like, you have to let them do that. You have to let them do it later.
Yeah, or ask twice. I
Right.
feel like I would say that. I would say that now. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
is roommate comparable. But look, if it's getting gross, it's getting gross. But like, yeah,
Right. But
it's
then
a
you have to be
bad.
like, listen, that's the problem is like, I don't know, just like, yeah, when you start cleaning up people's shit and like and when you take the control, then it's like hard to be like resentful about it, you know?
Exactly. You lose your right. You lose your rights to be resentful when you volunteer shit.
Yeah, I feel
That's
that.
how I feel. Like she should ask twice, and then you're bossy. I guess you're a little bossy. If you just ask though, then
Yeah.
nobody can be mad at you for asking. I think asking is
Well,
very
you
strong.
totally could, but they'd be assholes.
Right. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. Okay, so then the final blow here is that everyone's drunk and ate her food or his food. And I'm just like, okay, that was rude, but also you weren't that put out. You literally just made more food that you had. It wasn't like there was no food.
I mean, that's so fucked up and inconsiderate. And what got me too was not that the person was like, "Oh shit, man, you're right. I'm sorry." They were like, "We're all drunk." Like you can just tell assholes these people are.
You're right. That is pretty rude. They just said, you're drunk. Why are you upset? It's
Yeah,
like,
where everyone's drunk. It's not a catch all. Like it's not a blank check to what? Apologize.
I know, but they're drunk and it was like the weekend
Nah.
at that
If
point.
I still if I was drunk and my friend was mad about something, I would apologize still.
Oh, you're like a particularly good person. Beth H writes,
Thank you.
YTA for renting a house in the Hamptons during a pandemic when NYC is getting destroyed. You're supposed to be social distancing at home. Too true. Aaron B, you're all assholes for planning this during a quarantine, and you're the asshole for whining about how annoying your drunk friends are. Go the fuck home. I don't know why that hits me.
I don't
Go the
know.
fuck home. Lisa P. I can see like a mom yelling that at some like punk kid. I don't
Go
know.
the fuck home. Yep.
The neighbor boy who like threw up all over. Why is he always throwing
Yeah.
up? Because he eats Play-Doh. Stop eating it, Jared. Aaron B, you are all the asshole for planning this during a quarantine, and you're kind of the asshole for whining about how annoying your drunk friends are. Go the fuck home. I just reread that comment.
Because it was so good. We had to
It was
read
so
twice.
good. Had to do it again. Lisa P says, everyone sucks here. It's a effing pandemic. Maybe you guys should do as is advised and stay put. Instead, you went from your homes to a vacation home where who knows who could be asymptomatic. Then I'm assuming you're going to return back to your regular homes and potentially expose whoever else. Sort of selfish. Defeats the entire point.
So like I'll just chime in here and say that most of the comments I feel like did vacuum, and most of this had to deal with like pandemic like
Yeah, people were
like
caught on that aspect. I mean, Victoria D
yeah.
said NTA just the chump for being everyone's maid. Now,
I feel I was actually gonna say OP was a chump, and then I was like, damn, she already said it. But I get because like I've been this person, like I've been the mom friend. It just depends on the group. I feel like everyone is like the mom friend at some point, depending on like how irresponsible your friends are. And I think I could almost say that OP is the asshole, but kind of definitely the chump because they could have learned multiple times to like dial it back, and
right.
they continued to go above and beyond. knowing how their friends are. So like by the time it got to the laundry thing, I'm like, you're still doing this shit for these people? Like, when the girl was like, oh shit, I didn't switch it over, then you could be like, why did you volunteer to do it then? You could have just told her to do it. You could have just been like, all right, I guess I just have to run it again. And then you also decided to fold the laundry beds.
Crazy.
Like now you're asking for trouble by being
Look,
too nice.
I think I got the right verdict for this. AITA for getting upset when my drunk friends didn't save me food. I'm going everyone sucks here. But OP, I don't think you're a bad person. I just think you
Yeah,
got caught in a bad cycle, and I recommend your sentence of time served. You already had to do all this
true.
bullshit. So I
I know.
hope you learn
Yeah.
from this.
I think OP, I could go with you on that. Like, I don't think the thing is, like, I don't think OP is wrong for wanting an apology. I just think like OP played themselves in this whole scenario.
Yes.
And that's why I was saying with like my don't share thing, it's kind of like if you know that your kindness is going to get taken advantage of, like you should contribute the bare minimum to like maintain the group status quo.
Yep.
But then anything above and beyond, like, is for me. That's how I
Yeah.
feel anyway. Maybe I'm selfish.
And hey, what's that classic phrase? No good deed goes unpunished, and
Facts.
because you don't lean in with the good deeds for the douchebags.
Exactly. Save those good deeds for yourself. Keep your toilet paper stash in your room for yourself. Let those
AI
assholes figure it out. All right, I'm done.